Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a slightly different format. I'm gonna be a lot more vulnerable in the story in this video, so let me know if you like this sort of format. I'm more than happy to include more of it inside my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Cindy. I am all about personal development. I'm here for the corporate girlies, for the ambitious girlies, for the entrepreneurs, just any ambitious overachiever girly who wants the kind of goal that everyone says is unrealistic. And in my channel, I just really want to share everything I've learned that has helped me create this quote unquote unrealistic life in less than 3 years. Or no, just over 3 years. But today is going to be a more vulnerable episode because I want to talk about the reality of creating this unrealistic life. If you have a goal, whatever it is, whatever goal it is, a manifestation, again, whatever manifestation it is, whether that is a money goal, a career goal, a health goal, whatever it is, you would know that the journey is never linear. It is never like this exponential increase all the freaking time. And so I want to talk about the bump in the road that I kind of felt this week and last week, and probably when you're watching this as well, when I upload this, it's a bit of an ongoing situation. And I want to talk about procrastination. I want to talk about overwhelm, feeling lazy, feeling that procrastination, perfectionism coming up, because that is very much a big part of the journey. And this is where so many people fall off the wagon, which is why I really want to just share my experience up front, because I know a lot of you would have gone through this, but you may not have the tools to properly move through it, right? And the very first thing I want to touch on is that it's very normal. It is very normal to lose motivation, to lose momentum, to lose that sense of like accomplishment and satisfaction you find from whatever goal it is that you set out, right? Whenever we set a goal, it's always super exciting in the beginning, and then the motivation kind of runs out, and this is where discipline has to set in order to keep going. That is a very normal thing. And I don't want you to start beating yourself up for losing momentum. I don't want you to start beating yourself up for thinking that this shouldn't have happened, that if only you were more disciplined, if only you were more hardworking, that you are lazy, etc. Like, I don't want you to start beating yourself up now, because that is just not gonna help you at all. Right? Beating yourself up is not gonna help you at all. And a lot of us were raised in a culture or a childhood where beating yourself up is part of that journey, is part of that narrative, right? Like, I see this a lot, especially when you were taught that, hey, success does not come easy, like hard work equals success, like, and a lot of us would start beating ourselves up as almost a subconscious response to that. Because if you beat yourself up, you feel like you are struggling, and when you struggle, you feel like you would have earned the goal, right? So this is why a lot of us are, we would default into beating ourselves up, because in a weird way we feel like we would have earned the outcome or the goal that we have set, because the path there has been a struggle, and a big part of the struggle is basically us beating ourselves up, right? So I just want to put this out there, because this concept completely changed the way I see myself and I see the journey that I've been on, and it really catapulted me to a whole new level. And when I say catapulted me to a whole new level, again, I don't mean it as like a perfect journey, right? Because even up till now, like, I post so many videos around performance, around achieving your goals, after going after your goals and being consistent, etc. But I still experience all these bumps in the road along the journey. I still feel moments where I would find myself in avoidance mode where I don't want to do anything. I don't feel motivated. I feel uninspired. I feel like I just want to sit down and like read an escapism book or like binge watch a movie. Like I find myself going through moments like that too. And I'm going through that right now, which is why I didn't post a video last week, even though I made a goal to be consistent week after week after week, right? And so this leads me to the second point I want to touch on. What happens when you bump into this obstacle, right? When you feel that perfectionism come up, when you feel all this come up, the very first thing I want you to think about is to just get back on the horse, to just get back on the horse, whatever that may look like, right? And the mistake that I see so many people make here is that they assume in this all or nothing mindset that once they are, once they face a rut, once they face a bump, like they gotta start over. That is not true at all. That is not true at all. You don't need to start over. You just need to get back on track. Like someone told me this one time, and it really changed my perspective. Disciplined people, they don't make failure or they don't make falling off the wagon mean anything. They just get back on track. So it's not that they are consistently consistent all the time. It's the fact that when they fall off, they just get back on. And you see this especially in the diet world, where a lot of people would say like, okay, I've binged this already, so it must mean that my diet has been ruined. So I'm just gonna continue binging the whole weekend and start again on Monday. Disciplined people, they clock it. They're like, okay, I've fallen off the wagon. Let me just grab a healthier meal in the next round, right? For my dinner or something. Let me just get back on track right now. They don't make it mean anything about them. And so if you have this all or nothing mindset where you just gotta go like where you just feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I have to start over. This is basically putting yourself back in square one, right? This is your doing. And we want to stop that. We want to stop doing that. The second thing that I want you to think about once you identify, once you clock that, okay, I'm in this kind of lull stage, I want you to find an easy next step, like an easy win as your next step. Another mistake that people make is that they would go all in, pedal to the metal, the moment they feel like, okay, I've fallen off the wagon and I need to catch up. And this burns them out really, really quickly. This causes you to burn out. You would go all in again for a week or two and then you burn out. That is not what we want when it comes to building sustainability and consistency. Because the thing about consistency is that it's all about small, consistent action. It's something that you can see yourself continuing, see yourself taking action on for a long time, not like a 1 week, 2 week kind of situation. So I want you to start setting small and easier goal as your next step, right? So that is the two things I want you to think about once you've identified yourself in this kind of situation, in this lull stage. Now, the third thing that you want to think about, that I'm thinking about right now, is to identify what is a root cause of this lull period. Because when you can identify the root cause of it, you can start putting in measures like prevention plan for the future. It doesn't mean that could be completely eradicated at some point. That's not going to happen, but you're going to minimize the chances of it happening. Or once you've identified, you'll be able to bounce back faster. So if you think about what is a root cause of your lull period, right? A couple scenarios that is really common is number one, you don't know where to start. You don't have clarity around what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have clarity around what is going on and what is happening, or like what are the actions you have to take, what is the game plan. And so you don't know what action to take, and so you fall into overwhelm, you fall into procrastination, because the idea of starting when you don't know where to go is kind of overwhelming. So a simple plan of action is to gain clarity. Like you don't need the full picture, you just need one step at a time. Once you take that step, the next step will unfold. It always happens. You don't even have to worry about it. It will always unfold. So that is the first scenario that causes procrastination, that leads to perfectionism, right? The second scenario is when you have started and you're not seeing results immediately, or you're not seeing results in a really short time frame. We have been conditioned for instant gratification in today's day and age. And so when it comes to not seeing results, it can be really demotivating. It can be really, like annoying, because you put so much effort, you pour so much energy and love into the work you do. And when you don't see an immediate result, it can be really discouraging. So this is where I see so many people fall back into perfectionism. They fall into this avoidant freeze mode because they feel like, everything they're doing, they're just pushing against a wall. Now, this is where, again, I would advise you to either double down on looking what's working and what's not working, and really force yourself to seek evidence as to what is working, right? It could be as small as like, I gained 1 subscriber yesterday. It can be as small as like, I feel kind of lighter today. I don't feel like my mind is spiraling as much now. Or it can be as small as like, I stuck to a healthy meal, and I improved my knowledge around what health is and how to create a well-balanced meal. Those are little milestones that you need to track. Because if you're only tracking the big numbers of like achieving your dream body, being able to run the full marathon without stopping, that's basically you trying to, instead of taking like step by step, like climbing the stairs one at a time, you're trying to jump from the bottom of the stair to the top of the stair. And that is going to be a really discouraging journey. So we don't want that. When it comes to building your goals, it's always about the little milestones in between, going after it one at a time. And before you know it, time is going to collapse and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm already at step 8, right? So that is the second scenario I see that causes a lot of perfectionism. Now, the third scenario, which is what I am in right now, is perfectionism, in a sense where you feel a strong desire to, a strong pressure to create something to an unrealistic standard. And this typically comes when, or at least this is my case right now, when something is going well in your life and you feel like you feel the pressure to carry the momentum onto every area of your life. And this is where perfectionism comes up, because you're like, I need to keep the momentum going. Like, I cannot drop this. I have more to lose right now. When the stakes are higher, when you have actually gotten results, you don't want to backtrack. You don't want to fall back down the metrics, right? When you look at the results you have gotten, you build that perfectionism because you're like, everything is going up, up, up. I don't want it to go down. And that is what I have been experiencing right now. Like, I've been building such amazing viewership and subscriber on my YouTube channel that I fear it going down. I was so scared of seeing the pattern go down again. And ironically, because this perfectionism kept me in standstill, the pattern actually went down, right? But this is where I have to catch myself and say, like, okay, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. How can we bring it back up? So those are the 3 scenarios that I see most commonly amongst the clients that I work with and the people that I've observed. And I hope that this video helped you in some way, even if it's just around building awareness. And so if you are in this period, I just want to leave you by saying that if you're in this period where you feel like things are in the lull, things are not going the way you want it to, just get back on the horse. I can promise you it's not as bad as you think. You can get back immediately. It gets to be easy. Just take one step and trust in the compound effect. Like Albert Einstein says, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, the 7th wonder. I can't remember. But the compound effect is so powerful. Take one small step every single day, and before you know it, you'll be where you're at, if not even further. Have an amazing day ahead. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you. I love you for being here with me. And I'll speak to you soon.